Hi, everyone. All right, so if you have already been offered admission, then you likely have the date of May 1st that you need to accept that offer by. However, I would like to point out that a lot of our offers of admission, especially for Canadian post-secondary applicants, those decisions of admission are likely to go out throughout May and June. So you may not have heard back, and it may be a little bit of time before you do hear back. And that's because we'll be waiting on you to submit your final transcripts, which is due May 15th. If you are an international applicant and you have already been admitted, then we encourage you to apply for your study permit as soon as possible because that can take some time. If you were already studying in Canada, you may be able to just extend it, but definitely look into that because it can take some time to kind of work through that whole process. The other important piece of info is May 22nd is the deadline to submit your second year placement form, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a second. And then the other dates to look forward to is July 5th to 7th is second year registration. So that's when you can register in your classes. And then the first day of classes is going to be September 6th, and that's Imagine Day, which is our orientation day and first day of classes. All right, so we're going to jump into a little bit about finances. I will also mention that we have the chat here where you're welcome to chat with each other about that. I see everyone said hi so far, so that's awesome. But we also have the Q&A as well. So if you do have questions, I encourage you to use the Q&A tab. And then you can like other people's question, and I will go through the most popular questions at the end of the session as quickly as I can. So jumping into finances, let's talk a little bit more about money. What does that mean? So the dates right now I have are from last year because the website on the screen right now has not been updated yet. So I can't confirm anything. The date, whatever the date is in your offer letter, is going to be the date to accept your offer of admission and pay the tuition deposit. So if you are a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident, that will be $500. Otherwise, it'll be $1,000 for students on a study permit. That is a tuition deposit. So that money that you're paying to accept your offer is going to go towards your tuition that will be due in early September. Again, this financial schedule website is going to be updated soon. It still has last year's dates, but once it is updated, you'll see everything of kind of that you can plan ahead to know what you need to pay. If you're wondering how much tuition is going to cost, the best place to check that out is the cost calculator. It technically is estimating cost for first year, but the cost calculator will give you a good sense of what it'll look like. Your tuition may be slightly more than that. Some of our programs have more than 37 credits in the second year. So if you're taking 37 credits or somewhere between 37 and 40 credits, essentially, it may be a little bit more expensive because it is per credit that you're paying tuition, but it'll give you a really good sense of kind of what to expect. Now, some of the sources of funding that you may be considering, there's lots of different ways to pay for school. So one thing is student loans. If you are a Canadian student or a US student, make sure that you're applying by the deadlines. Bursaries, we have applications open in August and close middle of September. Bursaries are primarily for Canadian students who need to supplement whatever they haven't covered by their student loan. We also have awards and scholarships available. So our internal scholarships, our UBC awards, are going out by the end of April for the most part. There may be some that do go out throughout the summer. We also will share as many external opportunities that we know of with you. So in those emails that you've been receiving from me, anytime there is an external award that I've heard of that is open, I will share that with you. Again, I am not the only resource for that. There are lots of websites that can help you apply for external scholarships, but when I know about scholarships, I will share them with you so that you can apply. If you become a UBC engineering student, you'll also receive a weekly email called the e-news. And that is kind of like our newsletter. If we know of other scholarship deadlines coming up, that will be shared with students throughout the year because there's many scholarships that you can actually apply to during the school year as well. And then you can also pay for school, obviously, through personal savings, incomes, your RESP. On-campus jobs, we have a really great program called the Work Learn program that allows you to get paid work experience on campus, working a maximum of 10 hours a week, but you get paid quite well. And then, of course, we also have co-op, which students can apply to starting in your second year. The one other piece I want to mention about finance is the best person to contact is your enrollment services advisor. So in May, you can generally expect to get an email from your ESA. Your enrollment services advisor is assigned to you, and you'll be able to reach out to them at any point that you have any questions about things like financial planning, tuition, awards, student loans, anything to do with finance or university policy, essentially. They're going to be your best contact for that. All right, so the next piece that we're going to cover is just a little bit about what your degree is going to look like. So what can you expect coming into year 2 at UBC Engineering? So you're going to begin in your specialized department, so whatever that is. Now, a little bit about the second year placement. We'll talk about that in just a second. But in year 2 is when you actually start in your program at UBC Engineering. So you'll start taking those courses related directly to your program. It's also the first time that you can apply to co-op. So co-op accepts applications from students at the beginning of their second year and at the beginning of their third year. So you don't have to decide just yet right when you come in. You can also apply to co-op at the start of third year. And then in second year, you're also going to have lots of project courses to look forward to. So working on a team of different project-based design courses that you can be a part of. So mentioning a little bit more about second year placement, the link on the screen right here, and there should be a link at the bottom of this session if you want to scroll down that you can get to second year placement. So second year placement is what all students coming into year 2 will go through to get placed into your program at the Vancouver campus. Now, any student who thinks that you will be admissible and that you will have completed at least 27 credits of the first year Bachelor of Applied Science program by April 30th should be completing the form. So even if you haven't been offered admission yet, you can still complete the form. And as I mentioned, the majority of admissions will go out in May and June. So we do encourage you, if you're pretty sure you're going to be admissible, maybe you're in the engineering transfer program and you've taken all those courses and you're meeting the minimum requirements, so you know you're going to be admissible, then fill out the form. And the deadline this year is May 22nd. There's no cost to fill out the form. We do encourage you to rank all of the programs available to you so that we can go through the list and make sure that you're getting into the programs you're most interested in. As mentioned earlier, the programs are competitive and your placement will be based on your admission average. However, in the placement form, you're also going to be able to write a personal statement, which is read by your first choice program. And it can kind of help boost your GPA a little bit, of giving your first choice program a little bit of an extra incentive to consider you for their program. Now, I do also want to clarify that the placement forms are not processed on a first come, first served basis. So submitting a form now versus right before the deadline of May 22nd is not going to make a difference. So do take the time, rank all of the UBC Vancouver engineering programs on your preference form, and second year placement will be completed about a week before course registration begins. So talking a little bit more about course registration and what that looks like, you'll get more information closer to the time, but most of our programs go through what we call standard timetable. So a lot of the courses are going to be included as part of your timetable. When you're on the course's website or through your SSC, the couple of important things on the screen on the right-hand side, you want to make sure that you're selecting 2022 winter. Now, courses likely won't be published until June 1st or beginning of June this year, so you won't actually be able to see anything yet, but you can see previous years if you want to kind of look through and see what it sort of looks like, what courses they take. When you're scrolling through, you'll select your specialization and then the year level. So for example, this one would be civil engineering year 2 that I've clicked on. In that listing, you will see courses that are part of your STT, but you may notice when you're looking in the calendar at the courses that you need to take in second year that they are not all included in your STT. So some courses may need to be added onto your STT. Again, you're going to get more information from your program, and your program advisors are going to communicate more information of all of the details of this. But if you are looking through now and you're like, why doesn't this STT include these courses? That would be why. Some courses are not included in the STT, and you will just add those into your schedule. In second year, hopefully that covers a lot of the kind of academic pieces. Looking forward to, again, very quickly, I know. But you also have lots of extracurriculars to look forward to as well. So we have design teams that you can get involved with when you join in year 2. You can also get involved in your later years. We have lots of research opportunities. So if you want to gain paid research experience, that's an opportunity. We have lots of funding, especially for the summer. We also have department clubs. So you're coming into UBC Engineering, you may be worried of not having made friends in first year because you weren't here in first year. And that's totally okay, because a lot of our students in first year, will make friends with people, but aren't going to know the same people that are coming into their department because they aren't placed until the same time you are. So once you're in your department, that's a great time to join your department club. So there's like a MEC club, there's a civil students club, and you can meet students from your program to really get connected and find that kind of smaller community within UBC Engineering. So that's a great opportunity to meet more people and make some friends in your first year at UBC, but your second year of university. In year 3, obviously, everything that was available to you in year 2 is still going to be available. Year 3 is also when you can begin a minor, which is optional if you want that secondary area of study. Year 3 is also when you can study abroad through either the Coordinated International Exchange or Go Global. You'll also continue with those project courses that, surprise, surprise, is going to lead to your capstone project. So you're going to have project courses every year that you're working on to culminate in your capstone project. The capstone project is where you'll solve challenging real-world problems proposed by industry partners. And the projects are very diverse. They could include innovating existing technology or designing something entirely new. And if you do want to see what some of those projects look like, you can either search on YouTube for Design and Innovation Day at UBC, or if you are in the Vancouver area, this Thursday from 2 to 5 p.m., all of the projects will be on display in the engineering buildings at UBC. So you are welcome to come check that out if you are interested. So kind of some final tips to remind you of: register as soon as your date and time allows you to. You'll find out exactly what time that is about a couple weeks before the day of your registration. Second year registration dates are July 5th to 7th, so that's when you can expect to be registering in those classes. And the second year placement decisions will be released in late June, again, about a week or so before that registration date occurs. So what about transfer credit? Many of you may be coming in with transfer credits. And what we recommend is, one, being a little bit patient. First year transfer or first year credits will be automatically assessed by our admissions office. Transfer credit will be mostly assessed by our admissions office, but not all courses will show up as UBC equivalent or UBC Engineering equivalent courses. Sometimes we have science equivalent courses that will show up that may give you credit for a first year engineering course, but sometimes it may not be so clear to you, and that's where you need to talk to an advisor. You may also have a course that's not showing up as transfer credit, but if you really think it should be and you have your course syllabus, you can submit those to us and we'll get them reviewed to see if it is close enough in content to cover some of that those first year courses. We recommend talking to Engineering Academic Services. An advisor in Engineering Academic Services will be sending an email in late April to let you know more about transfer credit if you've been admitted already. Otherwise, it will be a rolling email that will go out as students essentially are admitted over the next couple of months as admissions works on that. So you can talk to one of our advisors that will help you through that. There's also the transfer credit website that has tons of really great information. So I do recommend that you check that out for more details. So that is all of the information that I wanted to share. So hopefully that gave you lots of information. Thank you for joining this session. And I hope that you have a great evening if I don't see you in the advising session. Thank you.